Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Samuel Raymai. And this week I am joined by none other than Brendelstein Kumbelheim.
Hello.
Hi. How?
Tired.
Agreed.
Mostly all right, but just a bit sleepy, you know, just a little bit sleepy. And I expect that sleepiness to evolve over the course of the week.
Mm-hmm. That's what it does.
Yeah, so by Saturday's show, exhausted is probably what my answer will be when you ask me. Or dead. Saturday's show might start like this.
That's okay. I'll be there with you.
We'll
I'll
see.
be there with you just because.
We'll see. Well, I've got my first day back in the shop tomorrow. And that's all. It's like, it's not that big a deal. It's really not that big a deal. But I haven't actually worked in the shop since, like, COVID times. Because when I have gone into the shop, it's to do web team. But now I'm going back in to do shop. I just haven't done that in a long time. So it's just like, I think I'm going to be exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's also going to be this like socializing with people, and there's a bunch of new people starting, which I'm going to have to meet as well. And then there's also a director coming down from a head office to see me.
You know,
I'm just expecting to be tired.
that is the worst part about new people at
Meeting
work.
them.
Meeting them.
Yeah.
And just going through that fucking hullabaloo.
The rigmarole of meeting
yeah,
someone.
and especially if you're 5 minutes into the conversation, you're, oh, fuck. I can't stand you. Like, no names will be named, but thankfully that only happened once in my employ with father. With a new person and me being like, oh my God. I want nothing but terrible things for you.
There is this awkward thing, though, where some of the new people at that shop have been there for a couple of months. So I'm the new person to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
despite the fact that I'm the more experienced member of staff.
Yeah, but
So
because you actually
weird.
have that, you can just be like, slow your fucking roll. What are you doing? Where is my coffee?
Coffee?
Well, I know you don't like coffee, but yeah. So thankfully, that only happened once, which is the lowest it's ever happened. Because in every other job, when somebody new starts, it was always a case of I hate you.
It just stopped as I said it.
Yeah, I heard it.
That was weird.
But houses make noise. You should hear the noises my house make. It's crackles and
a
bangs.
Clapping sound. Oh, okay.
Yes, my house is getting laid. It's crackles and bangs and just cold walls in the old house.
So what you're saying is your house is like a giant bowl of Rice Krispies?
Yes.
Okay.
It's snap, crackles and pops all up in this bitch. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
If you tip it upside down, a little plastic toy comes out of it.
I wish.
I'm sure there are many plastic toys in your house. Oh, dear.
With a budget of $200 million, we may as well just assume that at this point that every Marvel movie is going to have a budget.
At least.
Is going to be $200 million and a worldwide gross of $955,775,804 million. So not Marvel's biggest.
Still a fair amount of dollar.
Far from its lowest.
Yeah.
Especially considering in the recent times. Obviously, it's the one after No Way Home. It was never going to do that. It was never going to do No Way Home monies.
This was the one that I watched in Disney World.
Yes.
I watched this in a Dolby screen in Disney World. And it was,
I watched it in IMAX.
Yes, it was pretty and it was noisy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and comfy. Those chairs were good.
I can't imagine anything worse than the cinema in America.
We had this discussion leading up to it.
I can't remember what you said.
Leading up to
it. Yeah.
And we certainly had the discussion afterwards.
Yeah, I don't remember what you said.
It wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. Is all I remember. I just don't remember it being as bad as I expected.
That's fair.
In terms of wooing.
Yeah, because the movies, ironically, would have us believe that they're loud, obnoxious fuckheads in the cinema.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, you should go in and shit. No, you're watching a movie. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. The only time that noise was acceptable was
The hammer in Endgame.
yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It was fine. Yeah, no, it was fine. It was. It wasn't. The Americans were not as obnoxious as I thought they were.
Do you know
But
what? I
then at the
can't
same
imagine.
time, I was watching it in an American cinema in a Disney complex, which is like a very tourist complex.
Yeah, so I imagine a lot of people in there weren't American.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, do you know what? I know this is going to sound utterly insane, but I think it's bonkers that everything in Disneyland Paris is in French.
I kind of know. I don't agree with you, but I do kind of know what you mean.
Like, I don't agree with it in actual principle either, because
I do
it's
know
in France.
I mean, they say it in French and then in English and then German, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I know, but things like you've got Tom Holland acting,
Oh yeah.
but it's dubbed in
French.
French.
Yeah.
One person in that room might be French
Yeah.
and can
No, I
understand
agree.
what the dub's saying. So
that stuff, yeah. That I think if you've got like the ride shows, the pre-ride shows, and Tom Holland's, just have it in English.
and like subtitle it in French.
Yeah, the really smart ones, and it depends because some of the stuff out there is really good where they have like these pre-ride shows where one person's speaking French and the other speaking English, or like some of the live shows, and it's just scripted in such a way that even though you don't know what the French person is saying, what the English person is saying, like fills in the blanks of the conversations, like that kind of stuff's acceptable.
Yeah,
think.
I also like in actual principle. I don't think it's mad that everything is in French. We're in France.
Yes.
It's going to happen, but at the same time, hardly anyone there is French. Like, it was also just really jarring that I met Captain France. The fucking Frenchest Captain America. Oh, I'm Captain America. I was like, you fucking ain't.
Oh dear.
You've never been to America in your life, sir. You're barely wearing an American flag. But, to be fair, that wasn't as bad as what I called him to you when I first met him.
No, we won't mention that on the stream.
No, we won't.
I've just realised at some point in this movie, I just stopped making notes.
Same. Because I watched it today, but I was also doing other things. So I started taking notes, and whenever something like directly triggered, I was just like, oh no, I have something there. But for the most part,
I clearly just got a certain amount through and thought that's enough notes.
you've made way more than I have.
I have, that's true.
But we can still have.
Oh, as
a good
always, most of
conversation.
mine are nonsense.
Same. I'll kick off with a nonsense on. What a silly haircut. Is what I put. And it was the first Doctor Strange
his first
we saw.
haircut,
with like these weird stripes down here and a top knot ponytail nonsense. Yeah. Well, that's literally all I put. That's literally all I had to say about the opening. It's a good opening.
I made a note that I thought it was weird that they suddenly started speaking a different language.
Did they?
The first two lines they say is in Spanish. I presume Spanish. So America Chavez says something in Spanish, and then Doctor Strange says something, which I believe is Spanish, and then they start talking English, and I thought that was weird.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it was the first few lines. So it was odd. Like, why? Why are you setting this up? I don't know.
Sometimes they do that to be like, they're speaking Spanish.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
will they just switch
But
it
then
so
they
you can
switch it.
understand?
They're not. Yeah,
So
they're
you can
speaking Spanish in context.
Yeah. But
then
we're
I'd rather they didn't do that. I'd rather they speak Spanish and subtitle it. Personally.
so would I. Yeah. Like there are many. What was it? What was I thinking? Like Ghost of Tsushima, I'd rather that movie's in Japanese.
Yeah, fair enough. It's fair enough.
Because it's going to be entirely Japanese people in Japan.
Yeah.
Before they would have even heard the concept of English.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I hate dub stuff.
No, I share this.
Yeah.
I share it.
Which is why a lot of people, the anime world, crucify the fact that I watch them all in
Hannah
English.
says there, I noticed that, but I've only just realised that then makes sense when she says later you don't speak Spanish. I guess, but like, I don't feel like I needed the bit before of one of them speaking Spanish to understand the, like, I would have put that together and worked that out, I feel. I just don't think I needed that to work that out.
Yeah, and also the line "you don't speak Spanish" added nothing as well. So it's kind of like
I mean, all they're doing there is just trying to cement this idea.
It's a different one.
Yeah, yeah. Rich likes dubstep.
What? What have I missed? What?
Bangarang.
Dubs. Oh.
I see.
I see.
That's why he's the father of the group.
That and procreation.
True.
I just thought it was surprising he didn't speak Spanish because he lives in America. A lot of people live in America and don't speak Spanish. He lives in New York. I definitely know more Americans who don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish is like, I think, the main thing they're taught in schools, whereas we're taught like French. I think there's that.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know.
We're taught French. No, they just write some French words on the wall and be like, where is the library? Yeah. Dearie.
Were you made to watch that?
What?
That sitcom thing, that French sitcom?
No.
Oh, we were made to watch
I dropped French quite early, to be fair.
We were made to watch this like French sitcom, but it wasn't a French sitcom. It was made specifically for teaching you how to speak French.
Yeah.
And it was about this like American guy that had gone to like stay with a French couple or whatever, and obviously he was trying to learn French. But it's all in French other than the American guy. And then there's not subtitled or anything. It's to try and teach you French. It was clearly like trying to be Friends style sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, that can work.
They didn't.
No, I know, but I mean, you would have to spend a lot more time than they would give you.
Yeah.
For that to work. That's the problem with the entire education system. Is like they take an idea that could work, but then don't put any of the effort in it would require to make it work.
You have to do an hour a week in between all these other things you're doing.
Yeah. Whereas, like that should essentially be the only thing you're doing.
Yeah.
As an intelligent man who is no doubt well educated, I'd have thought he'd have learnt Spanish, especially as a doctor, as at some point he'd probably have had Spanish-speaking patients. I'm sure he had Polish-speaking patients as well. And
actually, I think that's a fair point. I think that is a fair point. But he also is very, very arrogant. So he probably was like, I'm not speaking. Someone can speak Spanish for me.
He's also American, so it's a lot of speak English.
Yeah.
A lot of that mentality, and which happened here as well.
And it's also very much a Stephen Strain attitude.
Yeah. I never even occurred to me that he would know how to speak Spanish, to be perfectly honest.
But he does in a different universe, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, my next note was the guy with the dead cats is a prick.
Yeah, we've known that since the first Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, he was a prick. He was just a prick.
Yeah.
He was just a complete prick.
Yeah, just blaming
sitting
the guy who saved the universe for everything.
Being a prick to him at his ex-girlfriend's wedding, rubbing it the fuck in as well when he's like, shame you didn't get the girl. I would have slit his throat there and then.
Yeah. And also, listing the fact that your cats died before your brother died. I would have, when he did the leap off of the balcony, brought him with me and just let go really high up. Yeah. Just like, goodbye. You're not needed other than as jam.
Yeah.
On the floor. My next note was hello, octopus friend.
Ah, yes.
Mine were just not. My notes were literally just nonsense.
See, my notes were the guy with the dead cats is a prick, and then my next note was so is McAdams for inviting her clearly still smitten ex to her wedding. I thought that was a dick move on her part.
Yeah, and no, it depends how their relationship has been.
Yeah, I feel like she knows he's clearly still like.
Yeah, I know, but then
just the conversation with her.
Yeah, for sure. It also does feel like he's just brought that up.
True.
I know it could be still obvious without him saying anything, but at the same time, like if they've been having some form of friend relationship since the first movie, it would then be an odd dick move to not.
Well, my guess is as well that she didn't get blipped. So she met this guy in the blip during the blip.
Yeah.
So obviously then he's come back and she's already kind of moved on. But I don't know, it just feels like a bit of a weird move.
No, I don't think we have enough context.
But then I think what's even more of a dicky thing, because I then put best suit up at the MCU, because I think that suit up where he jumps off the balcony is fucking cool.
It is cool, and I have less of a problem with it, but it falls under the same category as the nano suit, the nanotech stuff for me.
It does.
But I don't have much of a problem because it is literally magic.
Yeah.
So I have less of a problem with it.
It was just really slick. The way he's just like finishes his drink, puts it down, and just like pulls the thing out.
Yeah, he does it again at the end as well. It's really cool.
It's sick.
It's really, and he does it in Infinity War.
But then I said, why is Christine annoyed at him as if the massive octopus is his fault? Like, there's a point, they're on the balcony watching, and he's, like, doing the fight with Wong, and he's got the building, and her husband's like, wow, that's cool, and she's clearly pissed off. And it's like, it's not fucking his fault.
Hannah also says they are also colleagues, though. As in, Christine and Stephen, I highly doubt they are still colleagues.
Yeah, they were colleagues.
They were.
Magic Pocket Square is very cool. Yeah.
It is.
But, yeah,
it is.
I
I like the fact that he just turns it into other pieces of clothing. I do like. They haven't been colleagues for years.
If anything, he was blipped for 5.
Well, yeah. So coming up on a decade from Christine's point of view, because 2016 is when he became Magic Man.
Yeah.
And we're in at least 2023.
And he became Magic Man because of that career-ending injuries that he had.
Yes. So he couldn't even be if he wanted. Well, he could. He can magic his hands, but. That was the whole point of the first movie. But
good movie.
It is a good movie.
Where do we put that?
17.
Wow, much lower than I expect. I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot of good movies in this franchise, but I was expecting that higher. I mean, I said good movie. Clearly, mediocre movie.
Well, that's the thing. These are all good movies. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, mostly good movies.
So why was she? I don't understand.
Why was she annoyed?
Yeah.
I apologise to half of the nation.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. I don't disagree.
And I don't mean this in general life. This is just how. Co-lead women are written.
It is, yeah. It's a cliched thing in movies and TV shows.
That
and stuff.
they get annoyed at the guy for everything, and it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Like, I don't get. Like, what you got to be annoyed about? Like the guy.
Shut up, Skylar White, you bitch.
The guy's a superhero.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful sorcerers in the known universe.
I would argue because the only reason he's not the Sorcerer Supreme is a technicality.
Well, other than Scarlet Witch, but we'll get to that later.
Not a sorcerer. They're different things.
Yeah, it's weird semantics. As far as she's concerned, it's...
Well, they come from completely different places.
But as far as Rachel McAdams was concerned, they do magic with their hands, don't they? It's all the same thing.
No. This is the point of this whole movie. Scarlet Witch needs...
Yeah, but Rachel McAdams
magic artifacts.
Yeah, but Rachel McAdams doesn't know that at this point.
Well, it depends which one, but yes, yeah.
Yes, Christine in this instance, who's angry at Stephen.
Yeah,
she probably doesn't know Scarlet Witch is even a thing. But
no, because the first time it's mentioned is in this movie.
Yes.
Oh no, that's not true. WandaVision.
Either way, arguably the most powerful sorcerer in the known universe. Giant octopus thing starts breaking his way through the city, and you expect him just to go, don't worry about it.
It's your wedding. Also, he didn't interrupt the wedding.
Yeah.
He left quite quietly.
Yeah, and just was dealing with it.
I've got a thing to do. I'm not going to make a fuss at the wedding.
That's the equivalent of 10 years prior. You know, he's a leading surgeon, right? Mm-hmm. And what if he's standing at the balcony and he sees someone on the street having a heart attack, and he goes, "I'm going to go and help." Would you be annoyed at him? I feel like you wouldn't be annoyed at him. You'd be like, "Yeah, because you're a leading surgeon and you can help this person." You're more of a dick if you don't help. You're a bigger prick by just ignoring it.
That is one of many reasons I could never be in the medical thing. Because I just like, you are interrupting my day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was like when I went out with my granddad a couple of months ago and he passed out and whatever, and I thought he was dying. There was just someone out who was a paramedic who gave up her entire day to stay and help.
Yeah. I am not that selfless.
But there's...
I'm off the clock.
But apparently there's a thing where they're like somewhat obligated to. Yeah.
It's
just
like, a Hippocratic oath, isn't it?
I get it. I get it.
I get it as well. Because if you have chosen this career path, you are then the dick if you don't.
Oh, yeah, and I feel like Doctor Strange falls in that category. He would have been a dick to ignore that.
Yeah. That's the whole... Literally Spider-Man's whole shtick. I know this isn't Spider-Man. Of great power comes great responsibility. It's the whole thing of superheroes.
Basically, I don't know what he sees in Christine. Let her go. She doesn't respect you.
To be fair, from the character we have gotten, nothing other than literally surface level looks.
Yeah, no, that's
because
fair.
that I see.
Yeah. You have to be blind.
Yes. But
like that octopus was at the end of the fight.
Well, he was less blind, more dead. Through optical removal, shall we say. But...
Yeah, I feel like Jack would only be up for hypocritic
oath.
It's good. I like that.
When have I ever been hypocritical? Other than pretty much all the time.
More hyperbolic oath. That'd be more Jacksoning.
Oh, hyperbolic oath. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hyperbolics.
I will sign my hyperbolics oath.
It's just really, really
bouncy
testicles.
What is your next note?
I like Wanda as a villain.
Yes, my next note is Elizabeth Mummy Olsen.
Yes.
Yeah. I will grant. Indeed, I will grant that when she removed the spell and it became real, looked particularly magical and unreal.
Yeah, for sure.
The sky was too much because now it looks. But yes, I do like Wanda as a villain.
I think it was a really, really good villain.
She was clearly having a lot of fun with it.
I think she played it really, really well. I love Liz Olsen anyway, but I think she plays it brilliantly. She's terrifying where she needs to be terrifying. All the stuff they're doing with it, the whole she's like, I'm being reasonable. She's like, what about this is reasonable? She's like, believe me, I'm being reasonable. That whole concept to me is just like, fucking hell, that's quite terrifying. And you sort of slowly see like, holy shit, yep, she was being very, very reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. No, I get it. And also, like, they earned it. It's not one of these, nonsense things. And this is the first time where a show became mandatory.
Yep. And it made sense.
To be fair, it was the first show.
Yep. I think that's really...
And actually, I wouldn't say mandatory, because I think they did a good enough job
you can work
of telling you the important parts of what happened.
Yep.
But obviously, if you start going, what the fuck? Where did this come from? You've then got WandaVision.
They also do a good job, I think, of just sort of making clear it's like she's also possessed by the Darkhold, so it's not just a complete sudden fucking turn into complete mania. She's already going down a slightly bad path, and then that's being exaggerated by the world's most dangerous book, essentially.
The world's most dangerous book and the loss of children.
Yeah.
And, your entire family.
Yeah, she said the whole thing about, you made me blow a hole in the person I love's head or whatever, and it meant nothing. It's like, that'll fuck you up. And I think it's good that at this point they were playing into consequences of all of that as well, because the MCU has always been quite good at there not really being many consequences. And it was quite nice seeing kind of like the heroes having to sort of go through. I think seeing her...
Well, I'd say there's been... When, their actions...
I guess
there's
true,
a lot of... a lot of the movies are based entirely on consequences.
But more on less on a mental state and more on
less for the characters and more for the world. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's it was the consequences to her on a character and how she's and especially if you think what her development is. She starts as a villain. When we first meet her, she's a villain who doesn't really want to be one, who works it out and is brought round.
Yeah, she's not a villain. She just has a vendetta against a specific person.
Yeah, and is in the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And then is brought round because of the right people, and then because of everything she's gone through, becoming, as we she is clearly one of the most powerful
easily
Avengers there is.
Yeah. I mean, even the Russos and Kevin Feige have said that if the ship hadn't started firing, she would have killed Thanos.
Well, it was clear in Endgame when you're watching it. She's winning.
Yeah.
She's won. She's
she's done it. Yeah, it's just the fact that he then decided to blow up half of his army.
And
just to
with
get out
ease, it was like she didn't have to try. She didn't even unleash full power, and it wasn't even full Scarlet Witch yet.
I don't even know who you are. You will.
Yep. There's a lot of that.
I'm terrified and solid.
I really like the character of Wanda, and although it's kind of like a sad path for her, it's a really interesting one and entertaining one to watch. And obviously, it's all up in the air about whether or not she would ever be coming back in any form. I don't.
Pretty sure she is.
Yeah, I don't think they will get rid of.
I think they've already said she is. I can't remember what it was for. It was something specific.
The MCU's all up in the air, though. So
the MCU means nothing, particularly at the moment, considering they finally realised that everything they've done was wrong.
I just think that she's so well loved and respected that they would want to give her a redemption right out, almost.
For sure. Well, and they kind of did at the end.
Yeah, to a degree. It's very quick, though, so you don't really get a chance to say goodbye. I think from an audience perspective, you don't really get a chance to say goodbye to that character.
No. And weirdly enough, even though it would also be kind of a cop-out, I want it to be this version of Wanda.
Not another universe.
Yeah, because
no, the same.
Not only from a character point of view, we've had this development with this version, so it's odd to just write it off. Like, that was one of my biggest problems with Loki, is they kind of brought back a different version of Loki and then fast-forwarded any form of character development just to get him to the point of where we were. And I thought it didn't work. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was why I didn't like Loki.
Season 2 does handle it all a lot better, I have to say.
Yeah, I hope so. I've not really listened to anything. I have heard that a lot of it early on, the first few episodes kind of have fuck all to do with each other, which was kind of a...
I would say the first episodes are tidying up from the first season, which, although isn't like a good thing, their hands are forced.
Yeah, for sure, because the first season was a complete fucking
so
mess.
it kind of needs to do it. So, yeah, the first episode I thought was like, oh, this is fine. Second, I was like, oh, it's better. Where we've got to now, I think, is actually we've gone off on track. We've done a rabbit hole. I think it's well written as a TV show, which is a rare thing to say for an MCU TV show.
Yes, because they're never written as TV shows.
Yeah, it seems to be written as a TV show, and I'm interested with where
even
it's
though
going.
it wasn't.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, it wasn't, because it's after this that they've gone, we need to start making them like TV shows. Baffled. Baffled how many years it took them to realise that, and not we're making TV shows, let's look at them like TV shows.
It seems
minute one.
It seems to be a lot better, and I think it tidies up a lot of the mess from the first one, and I think what they're kind of teeing up and potentially going with it. I mean, I'm really actually looking forward to the finale.
I'm going to start watching it probably tomorrow, because obviously by the time I finish it, it'll be Friday.
I've kind of got a theory that it's going to somehow, in a way, I think, a little bit link into the Marvels, just based off what I've seen in the trailers in the Marvels and where they seem to be going in this. I think there might be a minor link, but
fair.
Who the fuck knows?
Fair. Yes, the MCU is in
shambles,
disarray.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to use shambles because there's actually a very funny montage of somebody taking like all of these unique like comic book movie TikTokers and like the MCU is in shambles. The MCU is in shambles. They all just say the same shit.
Fair.
So I avoided that word.
That's fair.
Disarray, shambles, whatever you want to fucking say. It's fucked at the moment, and that's really upsetting.
Yeah, it is.
To the point where there was an advert on a bus for the Marvels, and my sister was, when we were all out, my sister was, oh, another Marvel movie, but you're excited about it. I couldn't really give a fuck. Both my sister and my mum were like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? I was just like, I don't care.
The recent stuff's all been crap.
It's all fucking whatever.
Hannah's asked how many more weeks are there. The finale is on Friday, so there's only one episode left.
Yeah. So that's why, as I say, I'll probably start watching it tomorrow, because then, assumedly, by the time I get to there.
I mean, obviously, they could still fail at the last hurdle, and I kind of expect them to. But I'm intrigued. It's been more enjoyable. So,
do you know what? I watched the trailer for Echo. I was like, meh,
I haven't watched that.
Meh. I'm in. Meh.
I know why.
Meh. Yeah. Because Daredevil's in it.
Yeah.
And Vincent D'Onofrio's in it. And there. I'm kind of in. It's all releasing at once.
Yeah, I'll still watch it.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah. I will never not be in with the MCU, I think.
For sure.
Because, like, I think it's already gotten to the point where I was like, this, what they'd have to do to lose me. It's done it, and they've kind of lost me, but only in the sense of I'm not rushing to see the Marvels. That's the only kind of...
but you will watch... Yeah.
But I will watch it, and I'm looking forward to watching it still. Like, I want to see what they're going to do, but
that's the thing, like, they're big event... That's the disappointing thing. They're event movies. And everyone's like, oh, why... Where's that loss? Why have they become event movies? Because they're not event movies. There are 17 of them a year. Yeah. Like, there were event movies when there were like 2 a year. You could be like, every 6 months, you're like, let's go. That was enough. And a lot of people were complaining about fatigue, and I was like, I just didn't feel like... I kind of feel like, for me, franchise fatigue is impossible if it's good.
If it's good, yeah.
If, like... I could have... Everyone's like, oh, you can't have Assassin's Creed every year. And I was like, that wasn't... The every year wasn't the problem. It was the quality of what you got every year. If we got a fucking 10 out of 10 Assassin's Creed game 4 times a year, I'd be like, yeah,
Well, it's kind of like been doing this run of the MCU run. Like even now, like I'm still watching. I'm enjoying watching these through still because this is a good film. Ultimately, it's a good film, and I really enjoyed watching it again the other night. And it's only like been the one or two like, oh, this one's a bit rough. The problem was at the time when it launched, it was in the middle of loads of other really rough shit. Because obviously we're not in this show right now. We're not talking about the TV shows.
No.
And the TV shows were the
TV
weakest
shows have
part.
been the big problem.
Yeah. So it's like,
and still are. I would say are the big problem because I've been looking back at this. Like as we're going through it and what we've got next, I was like, none of it's bad.
No, there's one more movie which is actually bad, and then
and even then, I would say it's bad comparatively, but it's still better than a lot of shit.
It's better than a lot of the TV shows.
Well, yeah, but I don't even mean Marvel. Just put
right.
everything in.
Fine,
in general. It's still better than a lot of comedy movies that we get because, to be fair, comedy movies are usually the least funny movies because everyone is trying too hard. I think. Where Ragnarok shined is it seemed so effortless.
Yeah.
Because it kind of was. Taika Waititi has this, or can have this type of humor that is just like, that's just him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is...
Just naturally funny.
Yeah, and when it's all improvised as much as Ragnarok was, like, it all becomes natural because that is where your brain naturally went for the joke, and therefore it feels much... But I feel like they try to force the improvisation. We'll talk about this next week.
Yep.
Oh, why am I talking about fucking...
Oh, is it next week?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so not even next week. We'll talk about it in...
in a few days.
in a few days.
I thought I had another one before that still.
No, Love and Thunder's next. I checked before because I was just like, is this Black Panther next? But no, it's Love and Thunder, unfortunately.
That's fine. I can manage it.
Unfortunately. What is my next note? I don't... Oh! I want to pose a question to you because Hannah asked me a question. And I want to see where you feel on it. Why does no one really mention the Green Minotaur hanging out in Comatage?
Yeah, it's pretty casual, isn't it?
But I think I know why.
I know why I didn't question it.
As she also said, I feel like someone would mention it. Matt says no one really dwells on Rocket being a raccoon, but he also lives in space. This is on Earth. I have multiple things to say. Everyone dwells on Rocket being a raccoon. It is a recurring thing.
Yeah.
Rich, I feel like you hit enter too early.
Yep. I thought that was a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, exactly. So Tony makes jokes. Star-Lord brings it up all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone does it. His like recurring thing is, I'm not a raccoon. Like people bring it up all the time. The one you have a pop of. Oh, yes. That the Minotaur. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But here's my thing. No one also mentioned that giant fucking octopus.
Nope.
We live in a world.
It's normal.
Yeah, we live in a world that is multiple alien invasions in.
Yeah.
They have had a city in Eastern Europe take off while being invaded by an army of
Humanoid robots.
yeah,
Angry
androids.
humanoid robots.
Yeah, angry humanoid robots, like Terminators on steroids, who also destroyed Korea and things like that.
The big purple testicle guy.
Yeah, multiple alien invasions.
Yeah,
I feel like that falls under. Everyone knows what that is. People, half the entire universe disappeared for 5 years and then just reappeared. This is pretty normal. And also, it feels like he just lives in Comatage.
Yeah, he's not really out and about.
So we're meeting them at a point where he's been there. So, like, you're not going to be that weirded out by him for very long. So it's all that kind of stuff. And also, like, they're the people who are least likely to be weirded out because also that giant octopus thing came out. So I bought it.
Yeah, I buy it.
I didn't.
That's why I didn't question it either.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it. But when Hannah first messaged me, I was like, yeah, that is weird. But then I thought about it. I was like, no, that's not very weird. I buy it. But where did he come from?
When a mummy Minotaur and a daddy Minotaur love each other very much. A stork comes.
That's the thing. Like, Faisal, hello.
Hey,
hello.
haven't
Long
seen
time
Faisal in a
no
while.
see. How the devil are you? But where did he come from? Well, I mean, like...
Long time no read. We can't see him now either.
Speak for yourself. I've got my camera set up. Where did he come from? One of the many weird places that are on Earth that aren't in actual Earth. The sorts of places that allow Shang-Chi and that whole Matt helpfully said a labyrinth. Yeah. But there's also, we've had dragons on Earth. We've had, what else weird have we had on Earth?
All of it. You name it, it's been there.
That's true.
Actual literal gods.
True. Aliens. We know, because Blade is coming out, that vampires have to exist. Did you see that nonsense that he was going to be fourth lead
I saw something about
in
that.
the Blade movie?
We'll let them
What the
work it out.
fuck is going on with Marvel?
Yeah, apparently they're fixing it soon. But anyway, going back to
How do we live in a world, by the way, where we have America Chavez before we have Ghost Rider? Sorry, that really annoys me.
just going back to Wanda as a villain. She does some terrifying shit in this movie. To
answer Hannah, yes, Blade was originally set to be the fourth lead in the Blade movie. Yeah.
The thing where, like, when she comes to Camotage, whatever it's called.
You nearly got it right. You just added a weird in the middle. Camotage.
It's because I hesitated mid-sentence. And yeah, that's what I was saying. When she, like, the threats alone is pretty fucking scary. And then the thing when she, like, sneaks in, she's like, run. Pretty scary. But then the whole thing when she's...
I would not at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with when she's coming out of reflections and, like, comes out of that fucking mirror thing. Well, whatever it is, that gong, isn't it? I think it is. She just comes out of, like, the ring or whatever it is. Like, she's fucking terrifying. It's really good.
Yeah,
this is where, like,
Sam Raimi
was
this was the scene
through.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fucking weird.
And I think I mentioned it I think it was actually the last note I put before I just stopped making notes, and we're going to bounce all over the place, was the tunnel, the tunnel chase when they're in the other universe and she's just chasing them through the tunnel, and obviously she's just fucking getting injured. She's limping through and she's like a fucking zombie. Yeah. Eyes are red, can barely breathe. There's a jump scare in that. It's all quiet and it's just the drips and it's all dark, and then she just appears out of the shadows with a red eye. It's really fucking good. Mm-hmm. It's really good. It's the right kind of scare. That's the kind of horror I like. The tension. It was really good with its tension, and that's the kind of horror I like.
Oh, you're like that is literally what all the Mike Flanagan stuff is.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's not so much jump scares, because that's just...
It's not even jumps. I don't like stuff which is like scary by eeriness. So I don't like it when you get like fucking, I don't know what these films are called. Some of these like horror films you get where it's just some weird decrepit old lady who's got like maggots coming out of her mouth and shit like that. That stuff I don't like.
That, gross out stuff.
Yeah. Like,
you like more atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of like not the what... It's like, it's the thing that people always say about Alien, and I agree with it. It's like Alien is really, really scary until you see the alien.
Yeah.
It's the idea of the unknown and the atmosphere and stuff as well. That's what, not quite the same, but I think that's what's good about scary about The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's at its most tense when you don't really know what's about to happen.
But yeah, it depends.
And that's when it's at its best.
Yeah, they're going for different things there. Well, I've said many times that my scariest part of that is the hotel basement, and that's got nothing to do with I don't know what's coming. That's because I know what's coming, and it stresses me out every single time for some reason, despite the fact I know exactly what to do. And yeah, it's weird. I don't know why I don't like it so much.
I did then go on to say, the ice cream song is more haunting than anything else in this movie could ever be.
The ice cream song?
The fucking two kids singing the ice cream song.
Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
Kill them.
Yes.
See, she's watching that, and she's watching and she's crying. I think it's because what she's going, what have I done? I've made a mistake.
Yeah, if that was true, then she was at a point where she could back out of that.
True.
Very easily.
Fucking haunting.
Yeah. What have I got next?
Very important note I've got here I want to talk about was the bit where they do the multiverse travel.
Yeah.
And they're going through all the different universes. Mm-hmm. Really cool.
Yep, that was my next note as well.
But it shows how much potential the MCU is currently wasting with the multiverse, I think.
Yes, 100%.
It just shows all of the... But look at everything you could do.
Yeah.
There's all... You're
focusing on the wrong fucking
saga.
thing. You're in the multiverse saga. The next thing coming up is Echo, which has nothing to do with anything. It's a spin-off of a character. It's a spin-off of a show that had nothing to do with the plot.
It does look like the potential minor spoilers for the Marvels. It does look like the Marvels is multiversey.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's a bit in the trailer which is
okay, good, because as
Yeah,
we worked
good,
out
it's what we
last
need.
time, like, we're in the multiverse saga. You've called it the multiverse saga, and you've had fuck all.
yeah.
No Way Home, Doctor Strange, a couple bits in shows, but other than that, nothing really. And like, you're not telling a story. You're just throwing shit at the wall, which is fine in a universe, I guess. But don't pitch it as this.
But this movie starts to have the same problem, I think, though, because the scene where he's falling through, or where they're falling through all the different universes, that shows like we discussed this last week. There's precedent that they could do the cartoony thing and stuff like that, which is
Well, they are with Spider-Man freshman year.
For sure,
It's an MCU animated show, but it's a multiverse.
But it brings in that idea that you could have in the next Spider-Man movie, when they go even harder on the multiverse, that you could have it's totally believable that you would have the animated Miles Morales turn up in the next mainline Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I actually think the next MCU Spider-Man movie will have fuck all to do with the multiverse.
Probably, but my point is, it's like, because of what they do in this film, it creates a foundation that it wouldn't be coming out of left field, because we've already established that is a thing. Within this global universe of multi-universes, like, it's going to fit.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of specifically Spider-Man, I think it's more likely that they'll pop up in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an example.
Yeah, I know what you
mean.
mean.
It's the current thing that's being...
And it's the only multiverse thing that has carried over. Like, they mention No Way Home in this.
Yeah. But I also then think, this is a
out
me
of his
thing.
butt.
This is a me thing. It's like, the stuff they started to set up with this, I actually don't like the whole Illuminati thing, and the fact that it's like, all right, so we got the different Captain America, we got Peggy Carter, okay, and we got Reed Richards, and it's like, okay, you're setting this up that this is a thing, but you're not going to do anything with it, and it's like the Xavier thing is like, it's fucking cool. We've got Patrick Stewart as Professor X in this. What the fuck's going on? And it's like, nothing. It's nothing. And this was my complaint at the time. It's like, you've got the opportunity. The big excitement, I remember for me, when it was announced that Disney were definitely buying Fox and were getting all the IP, and they could do it and they could use it in the MCU. And they came out and said, yes, they will bring all this IP in into the MCU. I know we're getting a Fantastic Four movie. I know we're getting Wolverine and Deadpool, and fuck me, I'm still so happy about it. But for me, it's just like, make the most of the fact that you can do this and bring these actors in and bring these characters in and milk it. A little cameo means nothing to me. I don't want a little cameo. We know what you're capable of doing based off the fucking the 3 phases you did that were incredible. We know what you're capable of doing. Use these IPs that you've got now to expand and do more with these characters we love. Bring us, and still introduce Moon Knight, and introduce Shang-Chi. Bring us these new characters in, absolutely, but make the most of the other ones you've got as well. And I just feel like it's a complete wasted opportunity, personally.
It was when they got the things that's the problem. That's why we haven't had anything from it yet. They haven't had time. Time just hasn't happened.
I feel like they could have done more.
They could have done more
than just Professor X is in here for a bit, but it's not actually the Professor X that you know.
No.
But it is, because we are using the X-Men theme, but it's not actually the one that
But
you know.
the X-Men theme has nothing to do with the movies.
Well, I guess, that's true. But the X-Men theme is obviously in the movies as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The 90s theme, it's not in the movies.
It's the same motive.
That's not in the movies.
Yeah, it is.
It's in this movie. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but it is the theme that's used for the main X-Men movie.
No, it's not.
I'm sure it is.
No, it's not. It's vaguely similar, but it's not the same thing.
I feel like it's like at least inspired by that motive.
Probably inspired by it.
It feels very similar.
But it's not. It's not the main. That's
also like X-Men 1, 2, and 3. I feel like it. I'm sure it was. Not X-Men 1, 2, and 3. The ones they did with the fucking Fassbender and whatnot. I'm sure that used that. I mean, I believe you if I'm wrong. I'm just sure it was in it. Oh, this is going to take a long time. We're listening to this theme.
Well, yeah, this is the theme for the Fassbender ones.
Oh. Is that the title sequence theme?
Yeah. But don't. This is the main movie.
Oh yeah. You're right. It's similar, but
It's
not.
as you say, clearly inspired by. But anyway,
Fair enough then.
But
Either way, I just want more of it.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, though. I don't want them to bring any of the cast back.
I know you don't. I do.
Yeah, I know. This is just where we fundamentally disagree, and it's neither of one's wrong, one's right by any stretch of the imagination.
Thing, yeah.
Like, I want Hugh Jackman to be in Deadpool 3 and then nothing else.
Oh, I want Hugh Jackman.
I am 100% confident he will be in nothing else.
Oh, I also think so.
And I don't think we're getting Patrick Stewart back. I don't think we're getting any of the actors back. It's the same thing I feel like with where DC's going. Hard cut.
I think
none of this. Some actors are coming back.
I think it's different with the DC thing though, because with the Marvel one, we have the pretense of the multiverse, and we've got this established.
That's what this is in DC as well. So
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
That's what
Stop
the Flash.
copying Marvel. I hate it.
That's what the Flash was.
I don't know anything about DC.
Yeah,
I just don't like it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Flashpoint is resetting.
Why is everything
the universe?
always the same? Why is everything always the same? Either way, I think part of the excitement of the multiverse is that we can have all these other things back. That's what I liked about No Way Home, was having all these old things back. So I would like more of it.
I agree with that, but I wouldn't want them back long term.
I don't think it has to be long term, but I think you can. I think do more with it than what you did with this.
Yeah, I don't necessarily
and I think
disagree. I do think, like, one of my notes is this felt forced in hindsight.
Yeah,
at the time I was just like, this is cool. I'm enjoying this, but like I didn't have anything.
No, I think it feels forced.
It definitely feels forced, but I don't really have. I wouldn't have wanted more of it. Is more.
I think it's
what I mean there.
I think it's go all the way or don't at all.
And I kind of feel I kind of feel like we're on a different page. Like, they did go all the way for what they tried to do.
I don't know. I don't know if
because it was meant to be like this hype up cameo thing, wasn't? That's what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So what they wanted to do, they went all the way. We just think they should have done something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, not to invalidate.
I just wouldn't class it as going all the way. I think doing a hype up cameo thing just isn't going all the way.
Yeah, but it depends. Like, did you set out to do a hype up cameo?
Yeah, but that's a different thing, though. That's entirely. I think that's entirely different. I think now we're just talking about whether what we're discussing now is just what was the right direction. I don't think that's a case of whether or not they went all the way or not. Really, like I feel
like we're disagreeing on semantics here.
Yeah, it is just
because I feel like going all the way depends on what you were trying to do. So that's where my head's.
That's fair.
Gone.
I don't read that phrase as meaning that.
That's fair.
Personally,
so that's what I said. We're disagreeing on semantics. I feel like in principle.
To me, that phrasing is that going all the way would be just fucking going for it and putting everyone in and making a fucking big deal out of it, as opposed to a fleeting cameo scene that ultimately ends in just them all perishing. And there is a good side to that because obviously it showed the power of Wanda.
Yeah, I also feel that would have landed more if we knew these characters.
Yeah.
If we knew how powerful the characters were.
I think that's why, to me, it doesn't feel like they really went in on it, because you don't really have much time with them. You get a little bit of a speech with them talking about why they were scared of Doctor Strange, not taking Doctor Strange's warnings seriously, and then immediately perishing. And really, it just made me go, well, that was completely pointless then. So what you basically just gone, they're all fucking idiots.
Yeah,
and are too weak to fight this character. And also, my concern is they're building up some of these characters or at least two of them, like characters that people have been excited for coming back. Everyone wanted what's his face to be as Reed Richards. Everyone's excited about the idea of Professor X again, and like the fact that they was immediately destroyed by Wanda. It's like, well, if Wanda's this powerful, the rest of it doesn't really fucking matter anymore, does it?
But I also just feel like you can make then other universe versions of these characters more powerful. Like
you absolutely could.
So there's not really.
I think what I want is, I'm not getting involved with that. There's a lot of comments. Just catching up. I'm reading.
Same. Hannah, that is because of how we disagree.
And what you disagree on.
Yeah, literally.
We didn't argue. We had a discussion. I don't think we argued.
Yeah, we debated. Like, this is the problem with the internet. Everything's an argument. Everything has to be I'm going to puncture your tyres on the way out.
Yeah.
Like,
please don't do that. I have to drive to Epsom tomorrow.
Having recently had to purchase tyres, I would never do that to a human being. Other than maybe the van. And have you seen the fucking? Did you see the guy who was just parked in the middle?
I had to go out earlier, and getting out around him was a nightmare.
Fucking moron.
Yeah.
There was a space as well. Sorry, that really.
To be fair, there wasn't a space when he appeared.
Then don't park there.
But no, I agree. Don't park there because I'd argue he's not parked. He's just stopped in the way.
Yeah. He's just abandoned his car.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would have called a tow company when you went out. Just like, remove this. You are illegally parked. Be gone, thought. But anyway.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And that's. We disagreed on an opinion, and then afterwards we disagreed on the semantics of language more than anything.
Which is a non-argument.
Yeah. But we agreed on the principle of
All
what
we
we
had
were
to
saying.
do was just each of us clarify what we mean by our own semantics, so we're at least somewhat on the same page,
Yeah.
and then that's the end of that discussion.
Yes, exactly. Whereas we just tend to disagree on objective truths.
What I was going to say was, I think what I want personally from the multiverse, though, is I want them to bring back some of these characters and actors that we like from the previous franchises and use them in more cool and interesting ways, and use them as part of the big final team-ups because of fucking how cool was the Endgame team-up. If we can have a bigger one, great, you know? And then also introduce other versions and variants of some of them. So I like the idea that we're not getting the original Fantastic Four and getting a slightly different one. Fine.
Oh yeah, if we got the original Fantastic Four non-star.
I mean, Jessica Alba. But
Can't
do you know
act.
what? I would also be...
she has she has less personality than a car.
no, but I'm just looking at her.
Yeah, I know. But that, like...
Yeah, but also at the same time, it would be kind of cool if we did get Chris Evans...
show up as the Human Torch.
Yeah, like... And I think it's about finding that right balance of bringing some of them, but not everyone. And then also bringing newer versions of some of the other characters. I think it's about finding that right balance. And maybe you do... some actors that we've had before, but actually different versions. So maybe we get Hugh Jackman, but not the Hugh Jackman Jackman Wolverine that we know.
I think that's what Deadpool 3 is.
Yeah, I think you're probably right as well. But that,
Well, it has to be because he's dead.
yes, but that
Well,
to
it
me
could be earlier, but we know earlier he didn't have the suit. So anyway,
But that to me is what's exciting. Like that's interesting. That is an interesting thing to do, and I think about finding that right balance of doing that. So the fact that it is a different Professor X in this is like, okay, that's a cool idea, but you've done nothing with it. So
yeah, I don't disagree, but I also feel like it's hard to then find the place to do that, because I feel like if you did more with John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and having Patrick Stewart there as that takes away from the rest of the film.
I agree, and I totally agree with that, and that's why I think that's not so much a criticism of the film as opposed to just the choice in the universe.
Yeah,
like the overall...
I feel it's a lose-lose, really, because otherwise it's kind of a forced cameo, or you're adding elements that then take away from the point of the movie.
Yeah, no,
and
I agree with that.
It would have to be a movie that you spent quite a bit of time setting up, and it is the event movie. It's not a characters movie. I don't... Like, you wouldn't have gotten away with it in No Way Home. You did because it was other Spider-Men. Like,
Yes.
that's how that worked. And Doctor Strange, if you'd started putting too much focus on Professor X and Reed Richards, it's kind of like...
Yeah, well, that's why I think, like, don't put them in this movie.
Yeah. So it's... Yeah, I agree. I think it was a little bit...
Because we're getting a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, I doubt it's John Krasinski, though.
No, same. But the point that we've got that movie,
upsetting.
which is going to give us that chance for those character introductions. And I know we don't know all the movies we're getting from the MCU because not everything got announced. But a lot of
everything.
Yeah, but basically what did get announced was like, well, that's still not doing. You're still not doing it. You're still not bringing in these.
And also, it's been heavily rumored now that what the Avengers movies are is completely changed.
Yes, exactly. So it's just I don't know. I will forever feel like, until they fix it, and I don't think they're going to, I will ever feel like the multiverse is a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
Personally,
it is. I think it is.
I think there's so much they could do, and they're not doing it. But then again, we're still at that point where they're only just now starting to course correct. So who knows?
Exactly. It could very much be fixed, and also, I feel like they should have what they should have focused not on the multiverse. They should have gone down this other path and gone for something more contained, and gone Spider-Verse. is what they should have done.
Yeah, yeah,
But Sony's done that.
yeah.
Sony's. And never thought I'd see the day where Sony make good movies. Because...
They did have help, but yeah.
No, I'm talking about Spider-Verse.
Oh, I see. Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies were made by Marvel.
Yes, yeah.
They weren't made by Sony.
Help.
Because if they were actually made... And the only reason the Spider-Verse movies are good is because Sony left them alone.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lower... the first Spider-Verse movie was a lower budget thing from well-established animated movie directors. They had just come off of the Lego movies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they just went, yeah, whatever. We're not really putting any of our stock in this. And then everyone just went, this is the best Spider-Man movie that's ever been made. And they went, oh, for fuck's sake. And then just left it. So that's why that's working.
My other question I have that's come from this movie, again, is a multiverse issue. And it's where they can't keep up with their own rules. And I just...
616?
Yeah, and what universe are we in? Do we actually know at this point?
It's 616.
But that's based off of just what this movie is, right? Because she says that we designated 616. But hasn't there been something else that's happened since which has discredited that idea?
Spider-Verse, which isn't the MCU, so that's kind of hard to...
But then have we not established that it kind of can be because they're doing Spider-Verse within... Although the MCU
So it can be very easily one of the multiverses. That's I think that's what they're going for. It is one of the multiverses.
Yeah.
But I think what then complicates it is not even any of the movies. There's this book has caused a lot of hullabaloo. There's like a big MCU book coming out, and the fact that they removed Scarlet Witch from the cover from the thing has caused a lot of what are they doing? But that also refers to it as 616.
Right. Okay.
So, but I don't know if this is written by Marvel.
Is that the same book that's supposedly fixing the Spider-Man 8 years later?
Yeah, it's confirmed that was wrong, and that was a Sony mistake.
Yeah. So this is 616.
Supposedly, Sammy will argue with you.
Yeah, but that's coming from the case of that he don't think it can be based off the comics with 616, right?
The comics is 616.
So
the main universe in the comics is 616. Yeah, but that's just saying, okay, the comics aren't part of this multiverse.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's the answer, isn't it? It's just that it's not part of this.
This is a movie thing. We're not taking into account other media, although Insomniac is.
But we're not taking into account specifically the comics.
Yeah.
Because the comics are the source material, I suppose, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So.
But you could...
Bless you. Bless you a second time.
But you could also argue they're slightly different, so they could just be a multiverse.
Yeah. 616.5.
Essentially, but also then, isn't that really remarkably convenient that this is what Quentin Beck's... That he just picked a number out of a fucking hat and he got the right one.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it.
Best Spider-Man story at the moment is the game. Yeah.
Agreed.
If you want to talk about a condensed story, yeah.
But this is my thing that frustrates me so much. It's how are they so all over the place for this? How could they not work out that it wouldn't make any sense that Beck would have just picked out the right number from a hat?
Because they didn't know what Multiverse of Madness was going to be at the time, I suspect.
But then surely at that point just go, we can't call it 616 because that...
Oh, yeah, afterwards. Yeah.
And the same thing is how the whole thing where the terminology and is it a reality? Is it a timeline? Is it
I guess it's one of those things of it's a multiverse that has assigned that number. So it's kind of just there will be infinite multiverses where they refer to it as a different number.
Well, yeah.
So I don't think that it's not a universe.
Yeah, who's the rule? Who's in charge of naming it?
Exactly. So there isn't one. It's kind of the actual answer. The only reason it has a name in the comics is because there are multiple versions of comics. Yeah. There was the Ultimate line, which have nothing to do with the main line, it then did a thing, but that's because comics. That's where Miles came from. But there's loads of different universes.
Just feel like it's messy.
It is, and it's meant to just be a nice nod. I think what's actually happened is people have thought too much about it.
Oh, probably, almost certainly.
I think from the MCU point of view, is absolutely meant to be thrown away.
Yeah.
It's a throwaway line, just a little. Don't think about it anymore. But people have just gone, but that doesn't make any sense.
She's turned into the fucking cat from Looney Tunes.
Yeah, exactly. There's a succotat. So it's just meant to be a throwaway thing because one scientist in one universe in the multiverse has assigned it this number as a little nod. I'm sure Christine Palmer in a different universe has given it the number 12 or something like that. Like it doesn't fucking matter. It's all thought about far too much, I think.
Is there anything else in particular on this movie you want to talk about? Because that is all of my notes.
That's where it ends. That's my notes ended on cameo scenes a bit forced. I think the Wanda stuff at the end is really cool. The stuff where the twins are absolutely terrified of her.
Yeah, it's good.
I think that was a good one. I think
it's the only way you're going to beat her as well. It makes
sense.
Yeah.
Really make her kids hate her.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use her logic and just go, well, I'll just go to a different.
Oh yeah, but what she's realizing is,
this is wrong. Yeah.
Wherever I go, I'm gonna have this problem.
Yeah. Because you're not their mother.
Yeah. And it's that realization of I'm not their mother.
Yeah, exactly. And
she is,
and the whole other Wanda being like, just know they'll be loved type thing, and she's just like, well, fuck. Dead Doctor Strange with other demons as a cape is cool as fuck.
Fucking cool.
Hokey and stupid, but and seemingly no consequences. These demons appear to be like, you can't possess a corpse, and they just be my cape, and then went, okay. I enjoy it because this is the last time we see Wong before he turns shit. I think.
Yeah. He's great in this.
Yeah,
The bit where he climbs up the thing, he's just like, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. But there was a moment in this where he's hanging off the cliff and he throws a magic rope through a demon's head and pulls it down, and there are more demons while a dead Doctor Strange is fighting. I was like, this is technically a sequel to Iron Man. This is really fucking weird.
Now, see, the demon thing also created for me a intrigue, because obviously when Stephen Strange starts doing his dream walk into a corpse, these demons appear and they're like, Stephen Strange dream walk into a corpse is forbidden. It's like, by who? Where's this what's this universe that is in there seems to be a rule set of
magic. It's the same like the Darkhold is forbidden.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like that's interesting. Is that I want to know more about that. What's that universe that has set these rules of magic? Like what being is that's in charge of that? That's interesting to me as a concept, I think.
Yeah, I think until the demons showed up, I could kind of answer it. But then demons show up and go, well, it can't be that then.
What would your answer?
Well, it was more just it was more of a moral obligation, a more moral thing, like from Kamatage and the sorcerers in that way. They're just like, we don't do this because it causes problems and all this sort of stuff. The risk is too high, so we just forbid this in the same way like laws happen.
Yeah.
But the fact that then demons fucking pop up, I'm just like.
Well, that and the whole concept of the fact that the Darkhold was copied from a shrine in a mountain, which is clearly a shrine predicting the existence of the Scarlet Witch. So it's like,
well, we knew she was a prophecy
for sure, but like, where's that coming from? That is an interesting thing to me. I'd like to know more about that world.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think you could. Oh, I just remembered they were talking about the whole Vision Quest show still being a thing, which is where they were talking about Wanda. Into it. And they were. Yeah, so I think that might be the sort of thing that Agatha could go into as well, because that comes, even though I have no interest in that show whatsoever, but they could set that. I think it would be more interesting if they set that really early. Or they would have to, really. Definitely before WandaVision.
Yeah, it would have,
But again, that makes it less interesting, but also more interesting at the same time.
Depends what they follow and what they're doing with the story.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those, it then adds nothing to the rest of the body. It might answer some questions that we have about like witchcraft and where that comes from. But then why does that carry over to sorcery?
That's just a very interesting... That's something to me I've always found interesting. Like, when a story talks about a prophecy that comes real, or, and then these rules of this mystic universe... There's like a mystic universe that we know nothing about that some characters are tapping into, and then there's rules to it. The fact that that means that someone somewhere is so powerful that they're in charge of that in one form or another, and is able to predict these prophecies that become these major. That in itself is an interesting thing, and no one.
And 9 times out of 10, it's just an old woman.
Yeah, but it's very rarely like deeply explored.
Yeah, because it's saying there's a prophecy is a cop out.
Yeah.
Because you could just say it's prophesized. It's like, but who?
Yeah. But that to me is an interesting thing. I'd love to see something I mean, it probably does exist out there, but I'd love to see a major thing like this properly dive into something like that. That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I suspect in the Marvel world that there are just multiple Scarlet Witches. And there have been. I don't know if that was mentioned by Agatha or anything like that.
Well, no, but
She mentioned the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch.
Like, the Illuminati seem to know the concept of the Scarlet Witch.
That would just be across the multiverse.
Yeah.
There is multiple Wandas, because Wanda has her powers.
Yeah, but she's not the Scarlet Witch until...
She might have been.
But yes, I mean, Scarlet, we know the Scarlet Witch exists in some form in other universes because they're at least aware of her as a concept.
Yeah. But I mean, like, throughout time are there multiple
I
Scarlet
see.
Witches in that? So not Wanda.
It's not specifically Wanda.
No, as in, like, because they do seem to have magic that's different colours, obviously, because she is the Scarlet. So I just wonder if it's a case of every now and then someone with red magic will just pop up and it's like, fuck, or the Scarlet Witch. Shit. And it seems to be in this universe the difference between sorcery is you can learn sorcery.
Yes.
Whereas, although they do imply that you kind of have to have magic in you already in No Way Home with Ned, but
I think it's more of just that you might have a bit more of a knack to it.
Yeah. But yeah. So you can learn
in the way that some people are really good at learning guitar and some people aren't.
Yes. Yeah. Me.
There isn't
being
really,
the latter.
There's not really a guitar magic in someone's blood. It's just that some people are more adept at it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Whereas you seem to have to be pre-existingly magic.
Yeah.
To be witchcraft. There is a film called There is a series of films called The Prophecy. That doesn't surprise me.
I imagine what Hannah was going at there is that kind of explores the kind of thing I was talking about.
Oh, I see.
And I did say I imagine there is stuff out there that does explore this. I would just like to see it from something like this, a big mainstream.
Mm-hmm. I think there's so much other stuff, which is kind of why. Oh, something I saw which kind of solves the problem a little bit is apparently Echo is going to be the first thing under what they call Marvel Spotlight. Mm-hmm.
This thing on saying you won't need any prior knowledge of the MCU to understand it. I saw someone...
Well, they did say that, but that's not to do with the Spotlight thing. Apparently Spotlight's what they're going to do for like street level stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
That doesn't really have much of a...
Because I disagree with the statement you have to... that you wouldn't have to have seen any other MCU to understand it. I disagree with that statement.
We haven't seen it.
Cause the question is, how the fuck are these people here now? Without having the previous knowledge of how they're now in the MCU. That's the thing. Is like you kind of. I feel like you need to have seen
For Daredevil.
And
I mean, technically, he always was.
Kind of.
They are
Yeah,
like
right. Fair enough. No, fair enough.
because they mentioned the MCU
technically
during
it
those
was,
shows.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fair fucks. I'll give you that.
But also, if you haven't seen the MCU, I doubt you've watched Daredevil.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I guess it would just be one. And also, when they say that, it's always just like you can follow it.
Yeah.
And you can learn who everyone is. There's enough explanation for you to be able to watch it and not miss anything. Because Echo's kind of shoved into Hawkeye halfway through. I imagine we get some form of origin. So it like takes it back from that point there. But you will also absolutely get more out of it if you've seen it. Is what I'm at. Like, there's no way it's going to be completely separate.
Iron Man.
What?
Didn't need any prior MCU knowledge to see it. Watch Iron Man and understand it, did you?
The camera's going to turn off. I'm going to punch this man in the penis.
Oh.
I think that was... Oh, the 3 eyes at the end is weird. Charlize Theron being a cameo seems to be a thing at that period of time.
Another thread that never gets pulled on.
To be fair, it's only been a year.
I suppose. That's fair.
It's
I'm intrigued to see where they go with the 3-eye thing.
I imagine it'll just have 3 eyes from that'll open from time to time.
Yeah, but I like that implies that the Darkhold's in him.
Yeah.
Form.
So
I wonder
there'll
if they
be
kind of push on him being a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure they will, considering last time we saw him. But what I found really odd, really did not like the third eye thing. From a budget point of view, I imagine it won't pipe up that much.
Yes.
The physical third eye. I'm sure their personality loss will. But what I found quite funny is between last scene and post-credit scene, he seems to have got that down pat.
Yeah.
Like, it was so weird. Like, he was just like, ah! This is like, this is terrible. I'm ready. That was so fucking weird. Also, I want that knife that could just slice into another dimension. Also, what would that look like in real life? That would be so fucking weird. Nothing has just been opened. What? There wasn't enough civilian reaction to that moment.
I feel like it's kind of like what we've said already, the multiple alien invasions and
but that's
and the rest.
Different. That's like,
and they've seen Doctor Strange with his portals.
True. I didn't really get the third eye thing. The third eye opens up when you use the Darkhold. I thought that was quite clear.
Yeah, what bit is it you don't get?
Yeah.
Because obviously they set up that one of the other Doctor Strange, the one he fights the music fight, has the third eye because he's been possessed by the Darkhold.
Hey, it was really stupid.
So what, the music fight?
Yeah.
It was cool for a bit and then it kept going.
Yeah. It was like
that needed to be a move in the fight and then that's it.
And then they just kept doing it back and forth.
Yeah.
I was like, stop.
Yeah.
I get it. Treble clefs are deadly. Like.
If it was one move in the fight, it would have been really, really cool. It just fucking stomped into the ground. But yeah, so obviously he's now been possessed by the Darkhold a bit, which is what they always said about the Dark. And it's the thing, that's the whole thing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Fitz. He gets corrupted by the Darkhold. It's so fucking good. That's when he's at his best.
He doesn't have
a third eye that we know of.
Well, that's
Could
true.
be elsewhere on his body.
Oh.
You never know.
Oh, on the end of his dick.
Indeed. Or his belly button develops into an eye.
That's actually part of it that kind of now, obviously it's the movie's fault because they hadn't done it at the time. That is now, it's just like, you were in the MCU and you're hard lefted to not being able to be it anymore. And that's the movie's fault.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh, yeah, we never get any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the MCU. I just would love it because I really want Fitzsimmons back.
Honestly, if we can bring back these bastards, then they should just...
No, it's not that he's still using the Darkhold. It's that what he says is the Darkhold takes its toll. What they say in the film is not just on the reality, but on the user. So it's taken its toll. It's because he used the Darkhold, which has now been destroyed. It has taken its toll. It's done the damage to him already. Mm-hmm. It's irreversible. So it's kind of like, morally, he's okay, but the damage has been done. That's the way I see that, anyway.
Yeah, that's...
Because Fitz never really he never really gets it out of him completely.
No,
he has moments where he can almost switch it on in a way. Because there's a couple of episodes where he has to pretend to be a evil Fitz again or something, doesn't he? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, but that's even pretending to be.
Yeah.
The Hydra version.
Oh yes, it is. Oh yeah. You're right.
No,
sorry, misremembered.
Not the Dark.
Still fucking good though.
Oh my god, Fitz is the best MCU character, fucking hands down.
We have so many of them back because I actually really like a lot of the characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was a big fan of Mac. Yeah,
I like most of it. I don't think there's any of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There are some characters in the show. I just want to leave them behind. Porcupine Lady, go away. You're annoying. Pretty much all of the villains.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really liked Ward. The whole Ward and his whole thing was great.
He was an agent. Yeah. Spoilers. But
for a very old show that you should have watched already.
Yes, I agree. I was going to make a third eye joke, and I've had to censor myself. So I think
we kind of made somewhat the same joke.
It was just your wording.
Reason not to make the joke was different to ours.
No, the wording, because I thought about it. I was like, I can't say it.
Yeah. But absolutely.
Even though that's just what it's called.
I was trying to work out. It's not actually what it's called. It's
very
much a street colloquial.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's so ubiquitous now that when you tell people why it's called that, people are like, oh shit! I never. No one really thinks about it.
No, I know. Yeah.
But
I agree. It's the right call not to say it.
I agree. Also, yes.
Yeah, I was trying to work out a way of saying it without explicitly saying it, but I feel like there's no way of you can't even hint at it without being racist.
Urethra.
What what you said before was fine. Just on the end of his. That's what.
Yeah. I know. But I just wanted to make it a weird, uncomfortable word. What were we talking about?
Penises, apparently.
No, before the urethra.
Agents of Shield.
Agents of Shield. Yeah. Do you know what I really wanted? Do you know what could have made Infinity War an 11 out of 10? If in Wakanda a Quinjet just shows up, and they all hop out the back. I'd be like, yeah, fine. There
is time, they're gonna have to do a bigger team up. So there's time.
You say that, they never will though.
I know, but I'd happily have Quake and Coulson. That's the main thing. As in, that would be the way they do it, right? That would be the cool thing. A Quinjet turns up, the doors open, you get the Agents of Shield music start. The ramp comes down, and on the ramp you've got Fitzsimmons, you've got Quake front and center, you've got Mac, you've got some of these characters, whatever. And as they come off and run down the ramp to go and join the fight, then just walking behind them is just Coulson with a big fuck off gun, and then you see the other character like Coulson, that'd be fucking cool.
When in the timeline are we getting Coulson? Because we get some weird shit.
Don't care. It would still be cool. Don't know which one. It'd be cool as fuck. And then just
I do find that show very funny because it's just like, we've written a perfect ending. Here it is, done. And they just went, you're making one more season. Like, what?
Could have told me that. Chaos, wasn't it?
You couldn't have told me that yesterday. Because they had the big perfect send-off ending, and then there's just another season. It's really fucking weird, and the whole shoehorning some stuff in. I was just like, now again, nonsense. I almost would have preferred a season with if you had to do another season. Should have ended a season earlier. But I also really like the ending.
Yeah, no,
as well. I really like the ending. But bring him back. Bring back my Scottish baby.
He's so good. I kind of think I might have to watch it again just for Fitz,
Yeah.
Just to scratch the Fitz
Go on
itch.
YouTube and just look up
the best of Fitz.
Yeah, Fitz scenes. All Fitz scenes.
Just be careful what you search.
Yes, yeah. But
right, should we
do
this movie a score?
An episode by episode recap of Agents of Shield. We'll be here until 2030, but
no, we should not. But I do think we should give this movie a score. 1 hour and 17 minutes into this fucking episode. It has been a long one. Right, what would you score this movie? I know what I'm kind of thinking.
7.
Yeah, 7. The same. It's pretty solid.
Yeah. I've come down from my initial viewing.
I don't think that's a bad score.
No.
Yeah. I don't even know why I sit at 7. I think there's not enough in it of incredible spectacle to really bring it up. And the overall plot is fairly average. It's not the most compelling plot, really. The plot is more about Wanda than anything. It's her story more than it is Doctor Strange's.
Yeah, for sure. I actually really like the story. I think it gets bogged down with the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that scene in the middle not only feels a bit forced, but it also just kind of wrecks the pacing a little bit. I would rather have used that time in other places because the movie's short comparatively.
But 2 hours and 8 minutes,
including credits, so it's just shy of 2 hours, really. Which is short for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I would have rather used that half hour or so to.
Oh yeah, it's a big chunk of movie.
Yeah, to explore other things, and I don't mind the universe. I don't mind some of the other stuff. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I can't remember. Mordo, yeah. Don't mind that stuff, and I don't mind them in the cells with.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. That's all fine, but I would have rather used the rest of the time to explore other bits, and maybe dive deep. I feel like for such an important part of the story, they don't spend any time with America, and I feel like they could have used that time better. Even if they just literally all it was sprinkled throughout the movie was different scenes for America. I think the only little bit of exposition we got about America was that really bad memory.
The memory thing, yeah.
I think that was so bad. Such a bad way to do exposition. Yeah. So forced. Not natural at all. I think considering this whole this whole dream thing, I know they set up dreams to be a multiverse thing, so obviously it would have been quite difficult to give her a dream. That was the whole point.
I like that concept though. The concept of that
your dreams are something happening in the multiverse.
I mean, there are some universes out there I want to be in. There are definitely some I do not want to be.
Yeah, some of them are just fucking weird. Like, there are multiversal versions of me who are just struggling with tax.
Is that not just this universe?
Yeah, but like I'm not knee deep in forms. I've never touched a tax form in my life. So what I was dreaming a tax form would be utterly nonsense, I suspect. But all I can think of is the Black Books scene.
Well, I had a dream the other night about a multiversal version of me, and there was a me variant that came into this universe. That was a dream I had the other night.
Do you know, I would be really scared to go into the multiverse because I don't know how I would handle a physically attractive, successful version of me.
I can think of a certain way you'd handle it.
Well, there's that, but then I would be...
Because what are you really doing? Like...
masturbating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Faisal says something. Did we chat about the reanimation scene? Yes, we did. Yep. All the time. And until we get Ghost Rider, it's the big... Yeah, I think we're years and years... And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a fantastic Ghost Rider.
He does.
Just bring him in. Tommy from Masterverse.
Yeah.
He's probably a bit old now.
I'm just going to finalise this and we're going to give this a 7.
Pretty solid. Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, because that's what we just said.
That's what we just gave it, yeah. If you didn't agree with it, then this was a stupid conversation. I think... Oh, man, there's so much. This is why I do love certain comics and things like that. I think the disappointing thing about Marvel Comics is you get all of the really cool stories. So everything you want in the MCU is in there. Obviously not the medium you like, so I'm not suggesting actually going and finding them. But also, fuck me, is it complicated? Like to... this is complicated. That's a big part of his problem is it's complicated.
Well, this is nowhere near as
complicated. Sure.
So, but also it's like from areas... There is a story, I've probably mentioned it before, but it's just on the top of my mind, so I'll use it as an example because I can explain it fully. There is a story called King in Black. So if you wanted to read King in Black and get a very base version of this story, you just read King in Black, issues 1 through 5, and it's called King in Black. If you want a deeper story, you have to read it like it's King in Black 1, Venom 31, King in Black 2, Venom 32, and bouncing back and forth, and then you get that full story. But then to understand why Venom 31, you then obviously have to read Venom 1 through 30. But then when you get to like Venom 6, there's a different story that's like Absolute Carnage. So you've got to read that and then Absolute Carnage and then back down to Venom and all of that. But to understand all of Absolute Carnage, you kind of need to read quite a lot of Spider-Man to get, because Miles Morales is quite involved in that. And then there are loads of other characters like Captain America, Spider-Man, Blade, Black Panther. All of these characters are in King of Black. So to understand 100% how they got there, you would also need to read all of their shit. But that's not... But it's just like that for everything. Which is why I think comics-wise, DC is a little bit better. Because there are way more... This is the story. This is the book. Read that. You don't need to read everything else.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But still, superior Spider-Man, 10 out of 10. Read it.
Where do you want to rank this movie?
Do
you want to read the ranking so far?
At number 1, we have Infinity War. Number 2, Civil War. Number 3, Endgame. Is that where we put No Way Home?
Yeah, that's what I wrote down here.
I remember a compromise,
ranking
but I thought...
5.
I remember the compromise, but I thought the compromise was 4. But clearly not. Number 2, Civil War. Number 3, Endgame. Number 4, Winter Soldier. Number 5, No Way Home. Number 6, Ragnarok. Number 7, Age of Ultron. Number 8, The Avengers. Number 9, Far From Home. Number 10, Homecoming. Number 11, Shang-Chi. Number 12, Iron Man 3. 13, Guardians. 14, Ant plus Wasp. 15, Iron Man. 16, Ant-Man. 17, the original Doctor Strange. Number 18, Black Widow. Number 19, Captain Marvel. Number 20...
I spelled Ultron.
It says Ulon. I didn't even notice that. Number 20, Black Panther. Number 21, Thor. Number 22, Guardians 2. Number 23, Iron Man 2. Number 24, Captain America. Number 28, Eternals. Number 29, The Incredible Hulk.
Faisal
Thor:
asks,
The Dark World.
why the ever-loving shit is Black Widow 18 when Captain America is 24? What is
Captain America kinda sucks.
Yeah, when we rewatched it, it was like, this is sucky.
This was the first one where we went, oh,
Yeah, I remember this
ouch.
being better.
Yeah. I've never really liked First Avenger that much, but it goes to show the fucking jump. Literally, the sequel jumped 20 places.
Yep.
And the one after that jumped 22 places. I rewatched it too. It holds up.
Do you mean a different Captain America? I feel like you mean a different.
You can't possibly mean the first Avenger.
It was really slow because like half the movie is not Captain America.
And then all the good bits are just in a montage. Yeah, in comparison, it suffers for short. And then you've answered your own question.
Right.
But comparing it just
That's what
the
an
MCU.
entire ranking is.
Placing things in comparison. What a whirlwind of nonsenseness.
You can tell he's an Xbox employee. Sorry.
Dear.
I don't know where to put this movie, by the way.
I
I have no idea. I really don't know where I would put this at all. I think my first question is, do I think it's better
In the chat, pipe up.
Well, first question, do you think it's better or worse than the first Doctor Strange?
Both.
Yeah, right? Because in some ways it's definitely better.
And in some ways it's worse. I think as a coherent A to B story, it's better. The first one's better, I should say. I think in terms of set pieces and things like that, this one's cool. Doctor Strange was cool at the time, but I feel like they've overused the big set pieces because it's always just the mirror dimension.
It's after Black
Widow.
Widow.
After Black Widow.
And Black Widow moves under Eternal. No, we're not reordering.
Also, fucking no?
Yeah. No.
What kind of nonsense?
Eternal stays firmly at number 28 until Love and Thunder next week.
It might.
Yeah, no, I'm just being particularly mean to Love and Thunder.
This definitely goes above Black Widow, by the way.
Yeah, it's definitely above Black Widow. That much is. It's definitely better than Black Widow. I can't decide if it's better than Doctor Strange.
I think as a whole it is, because I think in terms of a villain, infinitely better in Wanda versus. What a bizarre.
That doesn't even make sense. She's not in it.
She's not in it. It's not a movie. They have nothing to do with each other.
I mean, I agree that Hawkeye is better than Black Widow.
For sure. Hawkeye is one of the best things we've had since Endgame.
But we are not including the... Black Widow, is that right? Fair point. We are not including the shows in this ranking, though. This is just the films. That's all we're ranking is the movies. We're not including the shows.
She is not a Black Widow at that point in time.
Because now, see, my next question is, would I put it above Ant-Man? Is it better than Ant-Man? Because I really like Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man because I like Scott Lang. I like Paul Rudd specifically as Scott Lang, and I think Ant-Man's a really good movie.
Ant-Man is
good fun.
Ant-Man is good. I think my problems with Ant-Man and Doctor Strange is the origin story part of it. I'm always like, ugh. When it comes to origin stories, especially on rewatches, because it makes it really challenging for me to rewatch because it's like
I get that. I can see that.
I think I landed in the worst universe where Black Widow is better than Black Panther. Is this hell? Black Widow is better than Black Panther.
If hell is where everyone is correct, then yes. Sorry, everyone at this table is correct. Then yes.
Black Widow is better
Welcome
than Black Panther.
to hell.
Black Panther is one of the most average movies that has ever been released. I'd rather watch Black Panther than Multiverse. You're insane.
Oh no, absolutely
You're
not.
insane.
Absolutely not.
Black Panther is not good. I think it's an important movie. It's not in any case.
We
a
had
good
this
movie.
discussion.
Yes,
you
I
can
know.
go and watch it on YouTube/Rabbit Hole Media.
I'm just telling Faisal. It's an important movie, but it's not a good movie.
So I think we decided it was a fine movie.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. Which is by definition not good.
Not good. Yeah. Sorry, no, I wasn't disagreeing with you.
Okay.
Just elaborating.
I'm going to throw eggs in your shed. As you can see, we're not in the shed.
Please don't throw eggs in my shed. There's a very expensive railway in there now.
Oh yeah. I think he would be angrier if you did it now than if it was
livid. If I'm totally honest.
Yeah. I think you would be castrated with a spoon if you did that.
One of those like plastic ones that are even more blunt.
Like the ones you could get, like the toys you would get
Like
that
the
had
ones
all of the cutlery.
Like the ones you use to feed babies the little baby food.
Yeah, one of those. Or to make it even worse, you could use like those kids usually themed Swiss Army knives that had like a spoon and a fork. And
what is this Black Panther the thing suddenly? We've discussed this. We've had this discussion.
To be fair, Hannah has always said that the only reason Black Panther is low is because we're racist.
Yes, which is just a silly thing to say, isn't it?
Well, yes, I know she's joking.
Yeah.
This is better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Incorrect. I'd rather watch Guardians, so this should be 14. No.
I wouldn't actually argue with that. I would be okay with that as a position, because I can't decide whether or not I think this is better than Ant-Man or Iron Man. I don't know. It's difficult.
I think,
but that's just down to my personal preference. I like Ant-Man. I like Paul Rudd and Scott Lang.
I think
so like
Ant-Man
that's
and the Wasp is better than this. I think let's just put it this way. I think it's an easier go-to watch.
What, Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Ant-Man
Yeah,
and the Wasp.
absolutely.
Whether it's better on an objective movie-making standpoint, fuck knows.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 16.
So above Ant-Man.
Above Ant-Man.
Below Iron Man.
Below Iron Man is where I would pop this. There's not much in it. I would also accept 17. Like if you would rather put Ant-Man above, I would also accept that.
It's too tight, and it's sort of thing that probably change on a week.
Yeah, for sure.
16 I would be fine with, because I also would be fine with 14.
Because there is no one who disagrees with this list more on a weekly basis than me.
Yeah, and me. We both back and forth on it.
Yeah, like all of it. I would. It's difficult because we're obviously doing it as twosome. So
in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment. As a twosome, there have been a couple where I haven't been here, so other people have had input as well,
and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. So there's been things. So we don't. 100%
we have decided we're not
agree with
doing that anymore, though, because it does put the list into chaos.
We're doing it at other people.
Yeah.
It
just does.
Yeah. Hence why this is currently Tuesday.
Yes.
And we have more people than normal. Only by one, but
16.
16. Let's put it at number 16.
I'm more than happy with 16. I'm more than happy with 16. I see
That's
it there.
That's fine. Next week, or actually Saturday, so in a few days. Apologies, we're not giving you as much time to watch the next movie. But also, it's also not one of the great ones. So you don't have to watch it. You can just join in for the conversation. Based off of memory. But on Saturday...
the conversation will basically be me slamming my head into this desk.
Yeah, I imagine...
I really, really don't... I've watched it twice already. I know I don't like this movie.
It's not good.
I'm intending...
I think there are some good moments.
Is it for sure? Like, my last few weeks of note-making has been deliberately a little bit kind of like taking the piss. Because I haven't had loads to say. This... I know for a fact
You're railing.
I'm ready
not in a good way,
railing
this movie. Yeah.
Ready to slam it. I really didn't like this movie.
What are we watching again? Sorry, I was typing a witty Black Panther themed response. We will be... what? We will...
I'm not getting the next bit. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Thor, Love and Thunder. Why are we talking about?
Yeah, what's Ted Lasso?
I mean, we can talk about Ted Lasso. I'm more than happy to do it.
Ted Lasso, so I'm happy to talk about Ted Lasso.
I'm more than happy to do an Admit One on Ted Lasso.
We will talk about Ted Lasso in about 2 months. It will definitely come up on the end of year show.
Oh, I see.
Is what I'm saying. We will be talking about it.
Because of Hercules. Oh!
Got it.
Roy fucking Kent. I see. Because Breakhouse here, isn't it? Rich was there. Rich was there.
No.
That's another thing that obviously it's only been a year, but there's been zero follow-up. Or even an announcement of where the follow-up could be. But yeah. I knew he was in it. I just didn't immediately make the connection.
I agree. The black and white scenes are really fucking good. That black and white scene looks incredible on my TV, and that's what I said because I watched it in a shit cinema, and I remember coming out saying, "I bet that bit scene's gonna look fucking great on my TV," and sure enough, it looked fucking incredible on my TV. Actually, as a matter of fact, now I'm gonna put this offer to you on air. But I do need to point out, I will need to confirm with the boss. But on Saturday, do you want to come and watch it here?
I'm okay with that.
Before we do the show.
Mm-hmm. Are you off then?
I am off. I'm going out in the morning, but I'll be back in the afternoon.
I would never be here in the morning.
No,
anyway.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I will have to double check
That's
with
fine.
the boss, of course. But
currently, I am easy.
yes, yeah.
In multiple ways, I will do stuff for money. Just putting it out there, hookers are us,
I will, Faisal.
The behind the scenes of how they made it is literally work of art. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched. To be fair, the best thing the MCU has done in recent years is Assembled.
Yeah, Assembled's been
I
great.
love that stuff. I watch all of them.
I haven't watched the Guardians one.
I haven't watched the Guardians one yet. One came out.
I watch all of them. I haven't watched the Guardians.
I said I watch all of them, not I have watched all of them.
Sorry.
So I have watched the Quantumania one though.
I don't think I actually watched that one. To be fair, they are good.
I watch all of them. Even if I don't like the thing, I watch them because I just find them interesting.
See, now I am
I
getting.
really like that stuff. They've put one out of the original trilogy for Star Wars as well. Not Assembled, obviously, but a making of.
I mean, I've seen loads of different makings of.
You should watch them, Hannah. They are actually really good. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, there's obviously
they
behind the scenes documentaries. They're about an hour a piece. They're really good.
They are very interesting. They're very well put together. Other than Love and Thunder, I've now not rewatched the next Marvel films. So I haven't rewatched Wakanda Forever, Quantumania, or Guardians 3.
I haven't rewatched Guardians 3. I've been purposefully waiting.
Same with all three of them.
I haven't. No, I haven't watched rewatched Quantumania either. I have seen Wakanda Forever again, but I will watch it again.
Yeah,
it was long enough ago that I will watch it.
I haven't
again.
rewatched any of them, and I'm really looking forward to rewatching them actually, because I actually don't remember much of Wakanda Forever. So I know we've already spoken about Wakanda Forever on the channel. We did
an episode when it first came out, but this is...
We haven't done Quantumania or Guardians 3.
No, we purposely left those because this wasn't a thing when we did Quantum... Oh, no, it was. But, sorry, it wasn't when we did Wakanda Forever. It was very early.
And then we realised it was a mistake to do the episode then, because,
Random one, did you want to play Starfield? No.
Of course you did. That's not that random, Faisal.
I mean, it's your job.
You made the game. I mean, I know he didn't make the game, but yeah.
It's your job.
You are technically a dev on that game.
Do you have any inside news on why your boss left?
I can tell you the answer to that question.
I can tell you the answer, but Xbox would never tell.
I know the answer to that question. Anyone with a brain cell knows the answer to that question. Or at least been paying attention knows the answer to that question.
Well, why he left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, he was having absolutely fucking none of Phil Spencer's Tom fucking foolery. The moron in charge.
Where do you think he's going to turn up? Because I think Pete Hines is going to turn up somewhere. I don't think
he's not done in the industry. I think, even if that was his intention, someone will come in with a ridiculous money.
I wonder if he will turn up at PlayStation somewhere.
I don't know. I don't think there is a
with
position
the PlayStation
enough.
Change-ups, I'm just wondering, maybe he'll be the new Jim Ryan.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, but I could also see it.
Very different job. He was the Sean Layden, wasn't he?
I thought that was Todd. Faisal.
That might be true. Tell us the hierarchy.
Yeah, like genuinely, I don't mean this as you're an insider, but like generally, what technically was... Oh, he was the Sean Layden. Okay, fine.
Then what's Todd, other than useless?
Well, Todd's a game producer. He's a director and
So he's a Corey Barlog.
Yeah.
Or
if you're using PlayStation as a... But then... Todd is the Kojima. So, but then at the same time...
Kojima is also his own fucking Jim Ryan. So,
Yeah.
so that's very confusing. But yeah, I get what you mean. He's the creative director.
Yeah, I do think there is kind of like I could see it. He's got enough pedigree and enough fucking success behind him that you could see a move in that way. And that could be a really good move for PlayStation, actually. It's maybe the kind of person you'd want. If you think about the way Pete Hines was as a face in the industry, the way that he dealt with marketing. And
you can also pin all of his failures in strong air quotes.
Yeah. For lack of better term.
Yeah. On Xbox.
But you absolutely could. Yeah, you could.
And that's why he got annoyed and left. I think one of the biggest fucking errors Xbox has ever made was keeping Starfield to themselves. That was one of their stupidest moves.
But I could see a reality where he would be a
I can see you.
Or even if it's a case of that, it's another hierarchy change within PlayStation, and maybe that he doesn't go in as the Jim Ryan, but maybe he takes like Herman Hulst's position or something, and Herman Hulst moves up or whatever. I mean, there are a number of different things they could do there, but it's interesting. I'll be intrigued to see. I just don't think someone like Pete Hines will just disappear from the industry.
No, he absolutely would. He absolutely would. He's popping up.
Yeah,
he's definitely popping up.
I wonder if he's already got something lined up.
I imagine he left in a fit.
Given his timing, it was. Well, I don't know, because it was waiting to that. It was like the deal went through and then he left. But I feel like the unrest.
Well, he might have had a "if this, I'll do this."
Maybe.
Yeah. But because I think, the timing is too weird for it to have been a planned move.
Oh, I definitely feel like it's related anyway. At least
it has to be. Like they will never say otherwise.
Yeah,
they will never say otherwise. But it has to be related on there. Why the fuck are they getting different treatment to us? Why are we being punished like this?
See, the problem is we don't do press start anymore, and obviously Jack and I have had our complaints about the video games industry, but it would always be in our blood. Like no matter what, like there will always be a.
That's why we started this.
Yeah, and I do love talking video games industry with you.
And
like actually,
we're practicing for the new show because the new show is
this.
Yeah, it's got to be literally fucking anything we want to talk about. That's literally the whole point of it, and I'm very excited to actually start doing that. We need to get to. The end.
I am. Yeah.
We get to the end of this. We'll have press start. Press start special succotage. We'll have press start specials, of course, and we have had 2 recently.
So if I was internally the vibe hasn't changed in MS how we do things. I don't know how it's at the top level. And that makes sense. I wouldn't expect there to be a change kind of like on the ground for that.
Oh yeah, not at all. Like I think that changes to
it would
the day to day. Yeah,
it would have to fall down too many things for there to be a change there, and that's just not going to happen. Like I think I very much get the obviously I can never know for sure. Like I made a joke, like I could tell you, but like I think to me, based off the leaked emails from Pete Hines, it was clear that he was unhappy with the way that that Microsoft have restricted Bethesda in terms of the publishing. And by what I mean there is the fact that most of the games are locked to Xbox. I don't think Bethesda want that to be the case at a top level, because why would you? I think. And Colin has said this on Sacred Symbols a lot.
You could ask Naughty Dog, would you rather that your games came out on Xbox and they would see you?
Yeah, I think if they could find a way of doing
not
it.
From a we want to keep things from Xbox, but if you are exclusive, you can focus.
And
on the platform, which is why you get the quality.
And Naughty Dog has mentioned that in the past. I remember when it was either on Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 3, but I remember them talking about like there are things that they were doing that doing on the Xbox wouldn't be that easy to do because of the way the architecture works of the PS3, and they know how to use it. They wouldn't be able to do that on another platform, but they can do it here. So I think there's always an element of that. See you later, Rich. Yeah, that's my impression. I think that he would, and when you look at emails, he's like, so what? Activision are going to be able to publish, but we can't. What's all this about? You know,
he was clearly pissed.
Yeah, and I think that's obvious.
And I think that is at minimum partially why he left. I don't think there is any other way to see it.
Yeah. But we will see.
We will see.
I get discount Microsoft Office, so let me know. I'll hook you up, Homebox.
What about Windows?
Yeah, or Adobe Premiere.
Oh yeah, like any random thing.
DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, anything like that because we need them. Or,
but to answer your question, Faisal, earlier on, which actually started this.
Do you get Windows for
Camilla
free?
Works for a Microsoft company. I wonder if she technically gets this stuff and we just haven't worked this out.
She works for a Microsoft company?
Yeah, her company's owned by Microsoft.
Oh, yeah. I would have thought so, though.
So, but, we don't know. Lost my train of thought. Yes, to answer your initial question, I haven't played Starfield. No, I've not played it because I don't have an Xbox. And as you know me. You know that I've never been a big fan of Bethesda RPGs. You know that about me because I didn't like Fallout. Skyrim I thought was fine. But I am intrigued by Starfield. And at some point, I know we discussed I might borrow your console at some point and I'll pick up Game Pass for a month or something and try it. But it's not been a priority yet. I mean, I want to get Spider-Man. I mean, I have no games to play now, but I wanted to do Spider-Man and stuff like that. So.
For sure. I would quite like to give Alan Wake a go.
Yeah, I want to play the first one before I try the second one.
Well, yeah. Fair.
I mean, I've got it.
Yeah,
I've got it. But
I think they're very different games. Not to say that you shouldn't from a story point of view, and because I quite liked Alan Wake. Game passes don't value. Starfield will age like wine. I couldn't disagree more. I think it's already fucking outdated. But to be fair, not had my hands on it, but from everything I've seen, it's a 7-year-old RPG. That's Bethesda's specialty.
Bethesda game. Right, on that note, just to...
Imagine releasing on the same day as Baldur's Gate 3 in the RPG category. As in improvements. So it was released broken. I'm kidding. I jest. Pretty much every game is fucking released broken.
Yeah, even Spider-Man was a little bit, wasn't it?
Spider-Man was real fucking weird in terms of the bugs. Because my bugs were like so few, but they were all huge. Like, I am Cube Man.
A lot of people had Cube Man.
Yeah, a lot of people had Cube Man. That one where I sent you the day, that exact moment in the campaign where the button prompt just didn't work. I had to reset checkpoints.
It's very good, Faisal. You should definitely play.
Yeah, you should definitely play Spider-Man. It is very good.
I've decided it's time to wrap up because
we're waffling.
It's 10 o'clock and we're going to pack up and make a thumbnail. And I haven't got any ideas for a thumbnail. I've actually just had an idea for a thumbnail, as I said.
I kind of have an idea as well. We'll discuss.
Intrigued. Okay, well, as always, thank you all for watching and joining us. Saturday evening, 8 p.m. will be the next show for Thor, Love and Thunder. So we will see you there. Jack, do you want to end the show?
Thanks very much for joining, and until next time, we shall see you then.
Ta-ra for now.